I think I've been procrastinating for nearly 10 years. If you're watching this, then I've finally done something that I've wanted to do for years. I've started a YouTube channel and this is my first video. I've done this countless times, but this time it just feels a little bit different. I'm a little bit older and I hope a little bit wiser. So yeah, let's just get straight into it, I guess. I've sort of got a half script, but I'm going off track a little bit now. I don't even know what this channel's going to become yet, if anything. I don't even have a name for it, if I'm completely honest, as I'm recording this audio. But I've realised that's kind of the point. For years, I've been waiting for everything to just sort of fall into place. And, I've been looking for that perfect idea, perfect timing, or a perfect plan. And I feel like because of that, I've spent so much of my life procrastinating and actually planning rather than actually just doing it. And that could be said for so many things across my life. I turned 27 the other week, and I had a vision where I was sat down with my 18-year-old self, and I was sort of weighing up in my head what I would say to the 18-year-old version of me. And just this one thing just kept coming to the front of my mind, and it was stop waiting, just do it. Stop being so worried. When I was 18, I became obsessed with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. It really took over my life, the gravity of becoming your own boss, not having to worry about the 9 to 5. Truth be told, earning a little bit more money. And I was consumed by countless courses and, influencers online telling me you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's a lot for an 18-year-old lad to take on. I watched every productivity under the sun, thinking this will be great learning. I thought if I watch these guys, maybe I'll become them. I'll be driving around in the flash cars and I'll have everything figured out and it'll be so great. I read about successful people. I listened to the podcasts and I even planned my own businesses. I was really serious. I made countless notes, set goals. I even convinced myself that if I just learnt a little bit more, I'd finally be ready to start. The problem was, I'm glad I'm figuring this out at 27, but the problem was, I'd never actually started. I was so worried. And even when I did start little projects, I tended to just stop. I had this one idea where I would buy secondhand clothes in bulk and sell them off. And I made good money for my age at the time, but I just found myself one day stopping for no reason at all. Some of my other little ideas and projects lasted a week, some lasted a month. And again, I just stopped doing them for no apparent reason. One thing that I have always loved is creative photography. Every time I pick up a camera, I remember why I enjoy it. Then life gets in the way, or at least that's what I tell myself. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and then one day I wonder why I'm not actually any better than where I was before. I'd done all this learning, I'd done all this planning, I'd started it, and I still found myself back at square one. Looking back, I used to judge myself at the time. I used to think, oh, maybe I'm just lazy, maybe I can't do it. I was always so scared of people judging me, or the idea of failing, or maybe scared of success, or, not knowing what to do when I start to succeed. I was constantly comparing myself to people who seem miles ahead, and they just overthink everything and overanalyze everything. In fact, I was analysing every possible outcome until I convinced myself not to start at all. I was analysing situations which didn't even seem possible, but I'd still do it. The real strange thing is, procrastination doesn't actually feel like procrastination while you're doing it. I've never been able to put a label on it. It sort of feels productive. Watching another productivity video feels productive. Planning feels productive. And even buying another course feels productive. Or even cleaning your room when you're meant to be working, which is something, I still kind of struggle with to this day. Don't tell my employer. I even convinced myself that I'll start on the following Monday, or even the following day, or the following afternoon. But none of this actually moves life forward. The worst part about all of this isn't the fact that nothing gets finished. I feel like for me, it's the guilt, the anxiety, that feeling when you look back and you just think, if I'd started this when I had the idea, imagine where I'd be now. But I don't think it's healthy to feel to look back and feel that way. I think it's good to have that thought, but not to beat yourself up about it too much, because that feeling can slowly chip away at your confidence, and eventually you stop trusting yourself. Every time I had a new idea, project, business idea, I always had a thought in my mind that'd say, you're probably going to quit this one too. And it was really difficult not to listen to that noise. I think later on in my mid to late teens, I developed what's called imposter syndrome, the idea of not being capable. And I feel like because I'd chipped away at my confidence so much at stopping and starting all these projects, that had a massive toll, or rather that played a massive part in why I feel like I haven't gotten as far as I probably could have. So after a lot of broken promises, it's a difficult thing to admit to yourself. So why have I started YouTube, and why have I started this channel? Honestly, because journaling never stuck for me. I got a book at Christmas, which was 1 line a day, which I had to write 1 sentence a day of how my day went. And I made it 3 months in, and then I stopped. Life moves quickly. I must have left the book on the side, maybe on my desk, and maybe I'd gone over to a friend's and stayed the night, or, anything. And I come back to it the next day, and I just, I forgot, and then it mounds up, and then I just put it down. Therapy is also another option, but as I say, it's expensive, and it's very, very difficult to find a good one, in my opinion. I don't know if people have had different experiences. Personally, I have been to therapy, and I felt like it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic, but I only got 12 weeks for free. I would have loved to carry on going, but where I live, it's not so cheap, especially for a young guy on the minimum wage. Another reason I wanted to start this YouTube channel was just to be creative and put something out there creative that maybe people can relate to, something that's honest, and something that might help people like myself or other 18-year-old versions of me feel a little less stressed about life and a little less alone. And that's what this channel's mainly going to be about. The gameplay in the background while I tell stories about my life. As you can see, there's gameplay in the background of some of my favourite games. That's going to be in the background while I tell stories about my life, some of the mistakes I've made, and most importantly, the lessons that I'm learning. Because you still learn to this day, believe it or not. There's going to be conversations I wish more people had arise in the comments, hopefully, fingers crossed. I had an idea to invite other people onto the channel if this channel does grow, and maybe they could share their stories. Not because they've got life figured out, because I certainly haven't, but because they're trying to. If someone watches these videos and feels understood, that's enough for me, to be honest. I'm making these videos for the 18-year-old version of myself, the boy who felt lost, the boy who had no idea of the challenges that he was going to face during his life, up to that point and in the future. That version of me who thought success would fix everything and everything would fall into place, the version of me who had so much to learn and so many challenges ahead, I'd just tell him this. It's not going to be an easy ride. You're going to get distracted. You're going to compare yourself to people countlessly, day in, day out, especially people that look like they're winning, and you're going to waste a lot of time chasing the wrong things. But most importantly, please do not lose sight of what actually matters. Keep creating, keep learning, and just keep showing up. That's what everything's about. I compare a lot of things in life to the gym. I go to the gym actively. I absolutely love the gym. I feel like it's great for my mental health. Is it easy to start? No. For some people it is. For me, it was very difficult to start. I found it so difficult showing up. In fact, one of my old gym buddies used to tell me the hardest part about the gym is actually showing up. Once you're in there, you're in there. You learn how to do the sets, you get a PT, get a meal plan, and those things do tend to fall in place, but it takes a lot of planning, but it also takes a lot of doing. So I guess this is me finally showing up. By no stretch is this a success story. It's not a video about how I beat procrastination or how I'm doing so great. It's proof that for once, I've chosen actions over a plan. I'm done waiting and the goal is simple. I'm going to try and create and upload a video once every month for now. Maybe every 3 weeks if I can stretch it that far. Maybe 3 weeks if I can. I have quite a busy life. I have a full-time job. I have a partner. But I'm going to try my best and keep a promise to myself just to hit record and hit upload. Like the gym, I want to just keep showing up and hopefully something comes of it. And maybe if you're struggling with the same things, and maybe if anyone's watching this and feels like they're struggling with the same things, you're more than welcome to leave a comment. And hopefully it can put you a little step closer to figuring it out. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.